Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Total Football Talk. So, sorry, guys, I just thought there was something wrong. My system has been absolutely shocking this morning, but let's get on with the news. The latest news coming out of Old Trafford at the minute, and there's plenty of it as always. And we're going to look at the top stories, and they are Mission 21. Brailsford talking about how United are going to win their 21st title. More like the title, as my title says, Mission Impossible, because are we going to do this on a shoestring and with kids? Because I don't see anyone else kind of following suit. We'll look at what Fabrizio Romano has said about Obi Martins. We'll look what Academy Scoop is also kind of talking about. We'll look at Luke Shaw's injury record. We'll talk a little bit about Martinez, which the news is just breaking. It's pretty bad for him, season ender. And we will also look at there's another story breaking about that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would like to take Casemiro to Besiktas, so we'll have a brief look to see whether that's possible. And also it's a day of respect, and I'll mark it at the end. But yeah, it's the Busby Babes anniversary today in Munich. The terrible tragedy that happened in 1958. It's something that lives long in the memory of many Man United fans. Obviously not myself, I wasn't born, but my father and all my family that support Manchester United, that are older than me, educated me about Munich and the tragedy and kind of everything that happened surrounding the club. It's a huge part of the club, so we'll have a mark of respect at the end of the show for that one. Okay, guys, we'll look forward to the Brailsford latest bit of information, which is Mission 2021. So Sir Dale Brailsford, I can't even say his name, Sir Dave Brailsford has unveiled a plan to Manchester United staff called Mission 21, aimed at delivering the 21st league title to the club. Brailsford has taken a more central role in performance at Manchester United alongside Jason Wilcox in the wake of Dan Ashworth's departure as the sporting director. Now, what's interesting about this and what frustrates me about this is every other club spending money. Manchester United have to spend money. So we are going to take a different approach. We're going to bring in a form of sports science from a cyclist. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't look at ways of improving the club. We should always be looking at these so-called marginal gains anywhere you can across the club. But to move forward, what you need good players that have the right mentality, that can have, and I keep mentioning this, that are able to wear that jersey and be able to fight for the club, have the skill and the passion, because you need the whole combination. No point in having one or the other. You need the whole lot. To help Manchester United move forward, to help them get to the 21st title. Now, Barada mentioned 2028 as the year that we should be looking to win the title. This year's a write-off, so this year's gone. So what's that? 25's gone. 2026, we can't win the title. I mean, it'd be the turnaround would be astronomical if they were actually trying to get anywhere even near the top 6 next year. And then we've got to get into the top 4, and then we've got to go and win it. I just don't see it. I just don't see how Sir Dale Brailsford and his Mission 21 and how it can coincide with Omar Barada and his vision with 2028. This actually being where we win the 21st title. I just don't know how this is possible, because Manchester United need to spend money and we haven't got it. And in the summer, we're probably going to have to sell Garnacho or Menu to balance the books and bring players in, which again just restricts our squad. We are already letting a ton of players go, which need to go. Casemiro, Eriksen, Casemiro we'll talk about a little bit, but obviously Eriksen, Johnny Evans, their contracts are coming to an end. We've got the long-term injuries of Luke Shaw, never fit, Mason Mount, never fit. We've got Lindelof sitting on the bench on massive wages, and he's going to go. So there's a lot of players who are going to go out the door, and some of these players probably do need to go and need to be moved on at this stage. But we've got to rebuild an entire squad. We need strikers. We need wing backs. We need centre halves. We know we can't just rely on Ugarte to run round for an entire season by himself in midfield. Eventually, we're going to even have to think about start replacing Bruno, because Bruno's in the 30s now. Bruno can't carry on playing at that level with that intensity in the Premier League. We've got to start looking at where his replacement is coming from. Is it coming from within? And if it is, we need to start looking at it. I mean, the young kid, Ibrahimov, I think his name is, I can't quite pronounce it properly. He's a cracking little number 10. He's 16. Kid is 16 and he's playing the under-21s. He's absolutely phenomenal. I've watched him quite a bit. But what are we relying on here? We're relying on kids and marginal gains, with probably a smidgen of a budget, because God forbid we don't get into Europe, and there's a high chance that we won't get back into Europe next season. I don't even know how this is possible. So mission 21, the impossible mission, probably the not going to happen mission in the next 5 years mission, call it what you want, mission, friggin' just joke. So yeah, I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I will be delighted if I have to hold the L on this and I get this all wrong. But I just don't see Rubin being able to manage this. No matter how good he is, you need the tools. You can't build a house. And as I said before, like someone comes along and gives you, there's a trawl and a bit of cement and they want a bloody mansion. You'd be lucky to get a friggin' igloo. Bad explanation, but you get my point. But yeah, we'll move on. I'm going to stop. We're going to stop talking about that. So this was the news that was coming out on from Fabrizio Romano, and he was talking about Manchester United looking at Obi Martin as part of the future squad. So he wouldn't be surprised if he's given a chance between now and the end of the season in the first time. Now, we already mentioned this yesterday. We know that he is our hope. He will probably, there's a good chance he could be in the squad this coming Friday for the Leicester game. Be interesting to see whether he is or not. But as I said, we can't rely on a 17-year-old. It's ridiculous. It's a strike. He's in the striking position. It's one of the most difficult positions to play in the league. He's 17, just turned 17 not long ago. Yes, he's ripping it up in the youth leagues and the under-21s, but kid's got but we can't lump all that pressure on him. It's a bit too much to come in and expect him to be able to dazzle defenses in the Premier League straight away. So we've got to be very, very careful with how we use him. And just on the Obi Martin one, this was a little bit from it was Academy Scoop was talking about this, how Obi Martin and Aiden Haven could be ready to step up into the first team. So obviously the news is just breaking. I don't quite have it to hand, but Martinez is out for the season. But I think we got that. His injury is horrific. I think personally he's going to be out for at least a year. So we're potentially going to lose him for a year. So it's going to give opportunities to players to come through. Like Aiden Haven's probably going to have to step up a little bit quicker than we had hoped. Now, again, we're another young defender. I mean, defenders are going to make mistakes. Look at Yoro. He's very, very good. He's very impressive. He's 18 and he got ripped apart against Southampton's winger. I can't think of the kid's name now. It's going to happen. Even if we bring Aiden Haven in and he plays well, there's going to be games where he's going to make mistakes. I remember when Camberwell came in last season, kid did really well in some games, but I remember in the West Ham game, he had a shocker and the fan base gave him stick and he was 20. They're going to make mistakes. I don't think defenders properly come into their own until they're in their mid-20s. So up until that point, they're going to make mistakes. If Aiden Haven does come in, we've got to support him. There's going to be mistakes. He's going to get fried left, right and centre at times. But we've got to stick with him if we believe that he's the future. Because if you look at the next topic, which is Luke Shaw, which we'll bring in. So breaking, Luke Shaw has suffered another setback. There's a surprise. Luke Shaw, on his day, one of the best left backs in Europe. On his day, also one of the best left backs on the treatment table, because that's where he just sits now. He just sits on the treatment table. Him and Mason Mount just must be having the crack. Must be enjoying watching a bit of loose women with a couple of bits of tea, a couple of cups of TV and some biscuits. A couple of cups of TV, a cup of tea and some biscuits is what I meant to say. But anyway, it's another shocker, because obviously we've lost Martinez. We really need Luke Shaw to be able to come in and fit in that left-sided defence role, but no, not going to happen. Once again, poor lad is just injury prone. We have got to somehow get rid of players that are injury prone. Mason Mount, unfortunately, they seem good lads, and it's nothing personal. It's just for the club that we just need to see that these players are moved on and that we're replaced with players who are fit and able to be able to just be able to do it. Because if you look at this, this was a lot of conversation yesterday, and I seen Adam Matic talk about this, and like Garnacho's played 110 games for Manchester United and made his debut in 2022. Luke Shaw has played 278 games for Manchester United and he made his debut in 2014. I mean, that's unbelievable. That is absolutely shocking. What is going on? Absolutely bonkers. Guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Just let me know where you are with all this. Mission 21, do you think it's possible? Do you think it's possible that Manchester United can win the league in the next 3 years? Please drop in the comments when you think we actually might win a title. And then just, your thoughts on Luke Shaw. Can we, I mean, the guy's he's still got another couple of years on his contract. What would you do with him? Would you want to keep him? Is he the new Phil Jones? Is he? I mean, did he take lessons from Phil Jones? I mean, Phil Jones at least knew when he got to a certain stage of his career, he decided to retire because he knew he just wasn't able. He knew his knees were gone, and he retired. Is Luke Shaw at that point? Is Luke Shaw at the point where his body is just unrecoverable? Now that injury that happened all those years ago, back in PSV and when we played them in the Champions League, has absolutely crucified him. Unfortunately, it's been the end of his career because he's never really got going after that. He had patches where he's been excellent, but he's had too many injuries along the way, and I feel for the lad. Because as I said, I rated him highly, and when we bought him, I really was delighted. But I just think now, unfortunately, his time's up. And yeah, we're in a difficult situation. We've lost Martinez is out for the rest of the season, but I think a full year, if not longer. And I don't. And when he comes back in a year's time, he's got 18 months left on his contract, and you're back into that decision. What do you do? Do you have to? Do you keep him on? Do you let him go? I don't know. But okay, guys, so that is where we are with most things. And the final story is, I mean, this was an interesting one, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Besiktas is reportedly interested in signing Casemiro as they continue to do business in the winter. So, there was talk about Casemiro potentially going to Besiktas. I'm not sure when their window closes. It may be closed already, but in the summer, there's also talk about Solskjaer looking to come back for Casemiro. Now, I think it would be brilliant. Great move for him. He'd do well in that league. Will they be able to figure out something with his wages? That's always going to be the question we're going to come back to. Will Casemiro take a drop on his wages to go and play football in the Turkish league? I'm not sure. But we do need to find a way to get him off the books because he's not being utilised by Rubin Amorim. So we do need to find a way, and if Ollie is the way out, I mean, Ollie will be a saviour once again. He's done many a great thing for this club, and maybe he will help us take Casemiro off our books, and just trim that a little bit. And maybe we won't can't imagine we'll make a profit off them, but even just to trim the wage bill would be very, very helpful. Okay, guys, that's your roundup. Thank you very much for listening. I'm Keith. I'm the host of this little channel, and thank you for all the support and the views. I really, really appreciate it. Please hit me a like and subscribe. I'll absolutely massively appreciate it. And we're just going to have a little mark of respect with the Busby Babes as we come out of this. So I will see you on the next one.